So everyone had a couple-minute break to kind of took care of whatever they need to. Sorry, it's getting towards the end of the day, huh? So, one of the things that's most important when you're working with families is keeping in mind that conflict can present itself. So the things that I'm going to talk about in second half of session 6 is conflict resolution strategies. I mean, that relationship with families, especially when their children are involved, are so sensitive. It's important to be aware that, those conflicts can present themselves. So some of those strategies are acknowledging, asking, and adapting. Acknowledging, you're reacting and you're listening. Asking, you're learning. You're asking that family, you're learning about that family, all kinds of things about what they do as a family, where they come from, what their family culture is, things of that nature. And then adapting is when you're working together to find, a resolution, a common ground there. There are really a few potential outcomes when it comes to conflict. Resolution can be brought through by mutual understanding and negotiation. Negotiation we're also going to talk about a little bit more in, I believe, the next slide. Another potential outcome is resolution through teacher understanding, as well as through family education, educating a family on something that they might not be familiar with. And then the other outcome possibility is no resolution at all, which is definitely something that we all, I think, would like to avoid, especially when it comes to conflict with families. So negotiation, it's not a question of giving up everything we know. It's just a question of finding a balance between what we know and what the parents know. Let's get each other all on the same page, and then we can work together to figure out what's best for that child. So now we're going to do a quick activity with these conflict resolution strategies, the acknowledge, ask, and adapt. So what we're going to do is we're going to split up into 2 groups, and if you guys are okay with these 2 groups, we'll have 5 over here and 4 over here. And I am going to give you guys a scenario, and I have 2 piles of scenarios right here. And what we're going to do, in your groups, you're going to assign someone to be a parent, to be the caregiver, possibly your own role, as a teacher, or like Shelley as an administrator. Someone to observe, and then someone's going to report on what happened in that scenario later. So if you guys could pick one person to come up and choose a scenario. We have about 8 or 9 different scenarios here. And whoever wants to come on up and grab one. If you see one, oh, I know a child like that, you're welcome to grab that scenario. And then what we're going to do is we're going to act out those scenarios, handling a potential conflict with a family. So before we come up and grab a scenario, does anyone have any questions about that activity? No? Okay. So you guys can come on up. Just send one person from each table. Thanks for that.